The older brother was eating at the table, and the younger brother was eating the bread he brought under the table. Why do the twins pretend to be the same person? Because the couple only wanted to adopt an adopted child, they had to stay here and find their mother's murderer in this town. What happened that day was reported by their adoptive parents, so the two brothers decided to take this opportunity to make friends, then used the excuse to visit their house to investigate. First, my brother joined the crowd. Listening to other children talk, the only thing between their parents was that everyone was made fun of, and the older brother quickly laughed too. Because his acting was too exaggerated, the older brother was immediately considered stupid. The younger brother found some beautiful stones to please the other children. However, Toothless didn't care at all. The others saw that his younger brother wanted to make friends a lot, so they decided to tease him. Because they didn't want to be friends with the people in the orphanage, his younger brother also came. Come greet them. So the three of them said they could be friends with their younger brother, but the condition was that they couldn't use their hands to hold the rope to cross the bridge. The younger brother also firmly agreed, taking pictures. Many people laughed and even started betting. When the younger brother fell, only the glasses did not laugh, and soon the younger brother also fell off the rope. However, just when everyone else thought it was all over, the younger brother appeared on the rope. The others were immediately confused, but they had no idea that it was their older brother who had taken over. Before long, my brother also fell off the rope. But within just 2 seconds, the younger brother stood on the rope again, and the older brother stood up again after the younger brother fell. After repeating this several times, the others were immediately confused, and did not understand how it crawled back in less than 2.5 seconds. At this time, my brother slipped and fell down again. His eyes could not bear it. However, this time my brother grabbed the rope with his hand, hung himself upside down and continued to climb. His eyes were also moved by the spirit of not giving up easily. It turns out that he always dreamed of flying into the sky, but every time he failed, and these failures became a joke to others. So he couldn't help but cheer for his brother. However, even when my brother succeeded, others still did not want to pay attention to him, the reason being that he made a mistake with his hand. However, the eyes were successfully attracted by the brother's mother. So my brother also took this opportunity to ask to come to his house to visit. Yen Dim firmly agreed. In the afternoon, my brother also brought snacks to the greenhouse. While placing the snacks in front of him, he signaled his younger brother to enter the house. His younger brother, who was still hiding to the side, also closed the door at 0:25. He rushed in a few seconds ago and hid in the shoe cabinet at the entrance. Then while the older brother and the glasses were eating snacks and chatting, the younger brother also started to investigate his acting skills. A family. Soon, he discovered a room. The wallpaper here is identical to the wallpaper in their childhood room. It turns out that when they were children, their mother always hid them under the bed. When they are bored, they will use messages on it. Until one day, my mother decided to take the two brothers out of the room and put an end to this fraudulent creature. However, when they were about to leave town, their mother was killed. So the two brothers thought it must be related to that room. But the younger brother searched every corner, but couldn't find any image of the foolish old man they used to be when they were young. So this wasn't the room they lived in as children. However, just as the younger brother was about to leave, Yan Yan's older sister grabbed him. At the same time, Yan Yan also took out his bird bag, but the older brother seemed to have seen a friend old. In the evening, my younger brother also told my older brother what he discovered today, and at the same time he also ruled out the ophthalmologist's suspicions. However, he did not tell me about the other things that happened in his sister's room. The next day he invited the dentist to our house. Of course the two brothers would not refuse this opportunity. However, little did they know that this was a Hongmon party. When they arrived at Bao Ya's house, the two brothers started playing the same trick again. But this time it was the younger brother who dragged him outside and beat him, while the older brother came to search the house and put his teeth in. When I was playing a game with my younger brother, I saw that my younger brother was about to win. Bao immediately restarted the game and asked to restart it. The younger brother endured this, then ate the dessert again. When he gritted his teeth, he snatched the dessert from his younger brother's hand. As for the people here, since you have to stay calm right now, after all, their purpose is to investigate, so your brother suggested playing a guessing game that you beat me and then escaped. At the same time, my brother also finished investigating the house. Because he couldn't find the address, he also decided to end their investigation. However, the older brother discovered that his younger brother had been beaten after entering the card room. It turned out that Bao Ya had intentionally cheated while playing and asked his younger brother to release him, so the right-handed land was sealed. Seeing this, Big Brother couldn't help but notice. Big Tooth didn't pay attention and quietly crawled under the bed and pulled his brother in. Seeing this scene, Bad Tooth thought that his brother was trying to escape. Just when he wanted to pull his brother away and continue, my brother came out from the side, asking Baoya to play with him again. Baoya definitely did not refuse, and also added that some people should always belong to each other and the weak. However, proud little Ruthless did not know that his brother's dominant hand was his left hand. Just as the older brother was about to deliver the final blow, the younger brother suddenly appeared with unexploded buds and a hat on, signaling that they must stay calm, which also caused this stupid thing to break. Summer camp soon ended, but when the two brothers returned home, they discovered there was another child in the house. So my brother stood up.
These twins are real. To improve his academic performance, Daili disguised himself as a woman and fell in love with his younger brother. And it started 2 days ago. This day, the older brother suddenly discovered that his younger brother was very talented at imitating. When he imitated his adoptive mother, he could not speak in the same tone. There was no difference at all. So the older brother came up with a plan. Finally, while the adoptive mother and nanny were drying clothes, the older brother took out a note asking for help and tricked the adoptive mother into entering the room. On the other hand, the younger brother dressed like the adoptive mother and took her place. Then with the tone of the adoptive mother, he took out a water canal model and asked the nanny if she had seen such a configuration at home. Others don't, because the nanny is also borrowing money from someone else's house. One family quickly thought of where this condition appeared during the welcome party. Seeing everything going so smoothly, he also smiled evilly. The reason the twins want to investigate this matter is because their mother brought them to live in a room with such an address before she was killed. So this is the only clue they have to find the enemy who killed their mother. So, when school started the next day, the two brothers decided to please Ichijo at school and befriend him. After taking the opportunity to investigate at his house, after changing into his school uniform, the younger brother and his adoptive parents got on the bus, and the older brother followed behind on his bicycle. However, when I went to school, I discovered that everything was not complicated. I often scored 0 on the exam, and was ranked in the 50,000th place where tea merchants gathered, being assigned to the top half of the city's students. However, they are not in the same class, nor are they brothers. The most annoying thing is that even if the younger brother licks his face to make a big show of it, he always ignores him and pretended not to know his brother. He clearly didn't want to deal with the Sesshomaru. So the two brothers decided to study hard, wait until they became good students before talking to her, which would soon be 2.5 months. Previously, even though my older brother's scores were barely passing, my younger brother's scores were still in the single digits. Therefore, the older brother specially found someone for his younger brother so he could concentrate on studying, but the younger brother did not listen. It turns out that he recently fell in love with the girl at school, especially her long black hair and clear eyes, which made his brother also fall in love with her. My brother was really convinced. He didn't expect that his brother really loved him. It turned out that one time my younger brother was caught studying in the library during gym class by a teacher and was kicked out of the house, so my brother had to change gender and become a girl. However, just as the older brother was about to tell the truth to his younger brother, upon hearing these words, the older brother immediately helped the soldier tell his younger brother that if he liked it, he should courageously pursue it. The younger brother felt like he was injected with blood right after having an older brother, so the next day the younger brother was determined to find his wonderful older brother. Sure enough, from then on, the younger brother's study attitude became serious. His score soon surpassed several eggs, before the younger brother was happy to discover that the world turned out to be his only me. It turned out that this kid tried his best to steal his test to please himself, but his older brother had no choice but to invite his younger brother to study with him after school. Of course, my younger brother wanted this. Being protected by the goddess, my younger brother also studies harder. Soon, his real score reached about 50 points. The older brother also gave a few symbolic compliments, but he did not expect that the younger brother would actually go to great lengths to confess his love to him. Seeing this, my brother also fell into a dilemma. If he promised his brother, he would not be allowed to fly into the sky. But if you refuse, the consequences will be disastrous. With the goddess, my younger brother will study harder. I study almost anytime, anywhere, even doing homework while I sleep, and the final exam is coming up. The older brother is in charge of science, the younger brother is in charge of liberal arts. Just looking at his hairstyle can tell that after his younger brother's functional results were announced recently, he achieved almost perfect results in 3 subjects responsible for. But what his brother didn't expect was that both subjects he was in charge of got 100 points. There was no other way, so his brother had to agree to date him as a reward. The two met at the aquarium on the weekend. Needless to say, her younger brother still had some tricks up his sleeve. Even the pigeon was almost bent by her. When the day of separation is approaching, you must take out a necklace and give it to your brother. The older brother also knew he couldn't continue to lie, so he told his younger brother that he would move to a town far away and would never be able to see him again. Although the younger brother was very sad, he did not express it directly but took a piece of the broken necklace. After her husband missed her, she forced herself to stay with him with a smile on her face. It wasn't until she got home that her brother couldn't help but burst into tears to comfort her. But the good news is that the results achieved through the two people's joint efforts finally attracted Ichijo's attention. But that happy time didn't last long. During a physical education class, when Ichijo was checking his classmates' belongings, he discovered clues about the two brothers.